again. First things first is, I'm sorry guys, I know it's been over 3 months since I last posted a video stripping the rest of this engine bay and just leaving the car as a shell pretty much. Even on Instagram I haven't really shared too much progress, as realistically not too much has been going on, but as you can see we have a short block here, got some changes with the car, and I've got a ton of parts which I'll walk you guys through, as I'm sure you're interested in seeing the exact direction of the build I'm going. So I'll explain all of that today, and yeah, got a lot to get through, so let's start. So other than everything I got on this table here and over there, I've got literally a full Honda Jazz boot of parts. So I'm gonna unload this and sort it all out. If you guys are wondering what financial irresponsibility looks like, this is it. Now I'm not going to go in detail with every single item because that'll just take forever, and I'll be doing that anyway as I'm putting on the car in other videos, so you'll see that anyway. But let's give this a go, just to show you what lengths of build I'm going to. So we might as well start off with the heart. I'll be running this Garrett G25. It's a 0.72 rear housing, V-band. Should give me a bit over 300 kilowatts at the wheels and be super responsive. To pair with that is a Turbo Smart 45mm external wastegate. We're running an ATI super damper. It's not an essential thing, but I slightly damaged mine stock damper when I was taking it off. But this is something I wanted to run anyway. The SR20 is known for having bad harmonics, so you never know, this could save an engine. Got replacement parts, replacement oil pump, essential when you're doing a new motor. This was sent off to the machine shop and had the top machined along with the head, so you need to make sure you do that to get a good seal. New water pump. This is just full of new OEM gaskets and stuff like that. GK Tech ABS delete kit, because I just want to clean up the engine bay. GK Tech clutch fan, because I've heard more bad things than good about running thermos instead of keeping the fan shroud and running just this. So I thought I'd keep it simple, do something that I know works, and this just gives a bit more airflow than the stock fan. Head studs. These are very hard to come by at the moment. These are actually a Volkswagen Jetta head stud. You can see that's the part number there, but they work in an SR20, and I know there's a lot of talk about ARP head studs on the SR20. People saying they're too short, they don't bottom out. I don't know if that's actually true. That's why people go with a Mazworks, or they go with this, because this is actually a little bit longer than the normal SR20 head stud, so this is essentially does the same job as a Mazworks head stud. To make sure my head doesn't lift, because we'll be running a fair bit of boost and definitely don't want that happening. Got oil filters for the run-in process, just rocker cover hardware, new timing chain stuff, Nismo thermostat. That is something that you definitely want to be running. It opens at a lower temperature, because you want to be keeping your SR cool. Koru radiator cap, because here we have a brand new S15 Koru. Keep it all cool. Here is definitely some money I didn't need to spend, just some cool dress up bits, some from Koru Works, and of course the Yashio factory radiator hoses and just some couplers. Wanted to spice up the engine bay just a little bit. That goes as well with the rocker cover, which I had custom painted with this sort of subtle pink flake. I think it looks good. I didn't want to go too crazy with it, and I think that will tie in with the other colourful bits. Don't worry if you're not keeping up with what I'm saying. Everything will be gone into with a lot more detail in upcoming videos, so don't stress. moving on to ECU. I pretty much bought the full Link catalog. Link G4X, as far as I'm aware, it's the best option for an S15 compared to other brands. It just plugs in, goes into the standard ECU housing, and it's just the best. Along with that, we've got a wideband CAN lambda sensor. We go in flex fuel, so we've got the ethanol content sensor, and just other cables, looms, boost solenoids, pressure sensors for fuel, oil, air temp sensors, and then we have a ton of hoses, AN hoses, PTFE, heat sleeves, fittings, and I can already tell that this is going to be the worst part of putting the whole thing together. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I unknowingly bought all PTFE lines because I didn't really understand the difference between normal AN lines and PTFE lines. So while they are better lines, they'll last longer. It's going to be a pain to put all the fittings on, and I can just tell it's going to take me days probably. Next up, we got it's a sensor mount, which I'll be adding my oil pressure sensor to, because as I was saying earlier, SR20 have bad harmonics and it'll prematurely kill the sensor if I hard mount it to the engine. So using this, I'll mount it away in the engine bay, as well as this Mishimoto sandwich plate. So chuck this underneath the oil filter, run a line off to this, and we'll have the sensor remote mounted, so we'll get good readings and the sensor shouldn't die on me. Onto fueling. Radium was my company of choice. They make quite a lot of good parts, but for injectors I went with some Bosch 1650cc, some big boys, 4-cylinder on a lot of boost, and E85 of course. Need some big injectors, so they should do the job. Just got new fuel filters and stuff to work with the E85. A few radium fittings just for the fueling, fuel pressure regulator, and of course a top feed fuel rail, because this is an important change you need to do when you're switching over to E85. And last but not least, I have some cams. These are BC 264 cams. Couple months wait on these, but thankfully we've pretty much got everything. The only things I'm missing from here are a head gasket and an oil pan, both of which I've paid for, and I'll be able to get them in about a week. And the other thing is the exhaust manifold, which I've actually been waiting for over 3 months to get fabricated, but finally I've got a tracking number and it's been sent to me, so shouldn't be long with that. Sorry if that was an information overload, just thought I would show you why it's been 3 months without posting anything. Not only is it hard to pay for this, obviously, for me at least, but it's hard to source this stuff at the moment, just with long wait times and products not available. I'll go into this in detail a lot more next video while we actually build it, but here we have a fully forged short block SR20 running CP pistons and Manley rods. It's a 9:1 compression ratio, and yeah, full forge, new bearings, rods, pistons, yeah, everything you'd want pretty much. Still just a 2-litre, didn't complicate things and go 2.2 or anything like that, just keeping the same crank, which was thankfully reusable. But yeah, also got freshly built head. The valves were good, kept that, but obviously did the new seals and guides and everything, and got BC springs and titanium retainers in there. So yeah, I decided not to build the short block on my own after hearing some horror stories of just people doing a slight wrong torque setting on just something minor, and then it costs them a whole engine. So I thought I'd leave the very important stuff to someone who knows what they're really doing, and I'll still be putting most of the engine together anyway. Now, last but not least, this may have caught your eye, but I had the engine bay fully resprayed because I just hated how it looked before. I'll throw a picture in right here. It was just all, not rust at all, but dirty, and the standard red is just, it doesn't have a clear coat or something, so it looks almost orange. It looks nothing like the outside of the car, and as you can see here, the inside and outside is fully matched, and it just looks beautiful. They did an awesome job. I didn't do it myself because I'm definitely not a painter and I don't have equipment, so I thought I'd get it done properly or I wouldn't be happy with it. If you watch my previous videos, you'd also see that I ripped this bumper off and damaged it, but that's all repaired. So the car is looking pretty mint and is just waiting to get a motor dropped into it. Sorry for talking so fast and just overloading you guys with a ton of stuff, but it has been 3 months, so I thought I owed it to you and myself just to show you guys everything that has been happening. For now, because I can't build the motor until I have the head gasket and oil pan, obviously, I think I'm just gonna start unwrapping this stuff and sort some little things out in the engine bay that you want to do before dropping the motor in. So in a couple weeks I'll be putting the motor together and hopefully dropping it in the bay not too long after that. So yeah, finally, after 3 months of waiting, things are finally happening and progress should start happening a lot quicker now. But yeah, thanks again for watching. It's going to start getting busy now putting all this together, so videos are going to be frequent. So yeah, feel free to subscribe if you want to keep up with it. Yeah, thanks guys. I'll see you in the next one.